Okay, we are going to see here about research problem. First, we are going to look into the meaning. What are the different meanings they given for the research problem? So research problem is nothing but it is a statement about an area of concern. That means which area you are look into, or which area you are considering for your research, or what is the area of interest for you to do the research. Okay, so that is a statement about an area of concern, a condition to be improved. Okay, so there may be a particular situations you want to modify the conditions or modify the situations, or how you are going to improve the existing conditions of a particular problem, or a difficulty to be eliminated. So what difficulty you are going to reduce it, or what difficulty you are going to eliminate through your research, are troubling the questions that exist in scholarly literature. Okay, while you are going to do the review of literature, you may find out there are various types of trouble you identify. Okay, so it may be in theory or in practice that points to the need for meaningful understanding and deliberate investigation. So, which are the questions you identify that is troubling in the review of literature? That means you identify that is a problem, and that problem is not clearly solved, and it requires more investigations in order to understand the concepts very clearly. Okay, so that is known as research problem. So research problem is nothing but it is a statement about an area of concern or a conditions to be improved, a difficulty to be eliminated, or a troubling question that exists in scholarly literature, in theory or in practice, that points to the need for meaningful understanding and deliberate investigation. Then there is another one more meaning is there for research problem. That is, it refers to the situations where a gap exists between the actual and the desired state. So what actually you are expecting and what is the thing you are going to get it in the market. Say example, what actually the customer is expecting from the organization, what the company is actually producing, and what the company is actually marketing the products in the market. So that gap you have to identify through the research problem. Okay, so this research problem refers to the situations where the gap exists between the actual and the desired state. So research problem will be clearly telling you, okay, so that gap area between the actual as well as desired state. So the problem can be generated either by initiating the idea or by perceived problem area. Okay, so either you can initiate through the various idea generations, or you can perceive the problem area. That means the problem area, how you are going to perceive it, how you are going to accept to solve a particular problem. So that is known as research problem. So research problem usually refers to the situations where the gap exists between the actual and the desired state. Okay, say example, the company is offering certain products. Other side, the customers, they have their mindset, they have certain expectations from the particular company. Okay, the company has to offer these kind of products, and these are the offers, these are the prices, like that. But what actually the company is going to deliver to the ultimate consumers, it will be totally different. So that is the gap is there between what actually the customer is expected, what actually the company is going to deliver it. So that situation will be helping you to identify the research problem. Okay, then what are the components are there for the research problem? An individual or a group with some difficulty or problem. Okay, so the first component in the research problem, any individual who is facing the difficulty or any problem, or a group of people, whoever is having the difficulty or problem. So this will be the first component. Any individual or the group of people, whoever is having the certain difficulty or problem related with something. Okay, so an individual or group with some difficulty or problem is one of the component of the research problem. Then objectives of the research that are to be attained. So what objectives you want to attain? Okay, what is the main aim you are going to do the research? Okay, are you going to provide the solutions for solving any problem? Are you going to address the any social issues? Are you going to find out the any easiest way to solve that particular problem, like that? Okay, so objectives of the research that are to be attained. Then third component, the environment in which the problem exists. So in what circumstances or in what atmosphere the particular problem is created or developed. So that should be there. Then two or more courses of action or alternative means for obtaining the objective. So you have to identify the, two or more course of actions. That is, what are the activities you are going to do it in order to solve a particular problem, or what is the alternative way is there to obtain the objectives. So that should be specified in the research problem. And two or more possible outcomes. So always you have to bring it more than two outcomes. You have to derive it from the given problem. And while going to solve the problem, you have to provide the options. Okay, more than two possible outcomes should be there. Then objective of the study. So objective of the study should be included. So these are the components should be there for any research problem. So if you want to write the research problem statement, okay. So first you have to consider any individual or group of people who is having the difficulty or problem. Second one, the objectives of the research that are to be attained. What objectives you are doing? What is the purpose you are doing the research? That objective should be furnished with that. Then the environment in which the problem exists, how the problem is created, at what atmosphere this problem is created, that should be specified. Okay, say example, now we are going to talk about the economic implications of the particular country. Okay, or the situations what we will take the COVID-19. Okay, so impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. So now the current situation is COVID-19 impact. Okay, so how it is impacted? So impact of COVID-19 on Indian economy. So the current situations you have to consider. The environment in which the problem exists. Okay, where the problem is created. That you have to specify. Then two or more course of actions or the alternative means for obtaining the objective should be there. So there are two or more possible way to solve the problem is there. Okay, the way is there. Different ways will be there to solve the problem. And you have to specify that one. And or in the alternative way, how you are going to obtain the objective. That has to be specified. Then two or more possible outcomes should be there. So if you are going to implement this, you are going to attain that particular objectives through this research problem or the research work. What are the possibility outcomes of that? That you have to list it out. Then objectives of the study should be specified. Okay, next one, identification of research problem. How we are going to identify the research problem? The identification of the research problem is the first step in the research process. We know very well the research process itself. Okay, whenever we are going to do the research process, the first step will be, the first and foremost step will be identification of the research problem. Okay, so it is similar to the identification of the destination before the journey. So before we are going to start the journey, you have to identify where you want to go. Okay, what is your destination? That you have to identify very clearly. Then only you can start the journey. Same way in the research work. Okay, when you are going to start the research process or the research activity, the identification of the research problem is very important. Then it works as the foundation for the whole research process, because this identification of the research problem only going to help you for the entire, that is complete process of the research activities. Then defining a research problem serves three main purposes. Okay, so how you are going to define the research problem, and this defining of the research problem will be helping for the various purposes. Okay, say example, it presents the importance of the research topic. Once you are going to clearly define the research problem, that will be going to clearly explain you what is the importance of the research topic, why you are going to do the research, what you are going to attain through the research, this particular research activity. That will be clearly specified. Okay, so for that purpose, you have to define the research problem very clearly. Okay, so the defining of the research problem will be helping in order to present the importance of the research topic. And it helps the researchers place the problem in a specific context to properly define the parameters of the investigation. Okay, so obviously this will be helping for the researchers. That is, you are going to place the problem in a specific context. Okay, at what context that particular problem is created or existed. And you can define the parameters. What are the parameters? What are the variables will be going to influence for the creating of a particular problem, and which requires more investigations that you have to identify here. Okay, so it helps the researchers place the problem in a specific context to properly define the parameters of the investigation, and it provides a framework that can help in presenting the results in the future. Okay, so obviously this research problem will be helping. It is, we can call it as the framework of the entire research process will be based on the research problem. So this will be helping presenting the results in the future. Then next one, types of research problem. What are the different types of research problems in that? There are three types of research problems in that. One is descriptive research problem. Second one, casual research problem. Third one, relational research problems. Okay, we'll see the first one, descriptive research problems. So descriptive research problems focus on the questions like what is, with its main aim to describe the situation, state, or the existence of certain specific phenomena. So always the descriptive research problem will focus on the questions like this: what is the reason it happened? What is going to influence the particular problem? Or what is the factors going to influence the particular scenario? Like this. With its main aim to describe the situations, okay, at what circumstances that particular problem created or that particular problem is existed, or state or the existence of certain specific phenomena. So what are the factors or what are the factors will be going to influence for a particular problem? It will be describing the situations where the problem is exist. They seek to depict what already exists in a group or population. So always they will identify, they will be searching in order to reveal what already there in the group or the population. For such studies, surveys and opinion polls are best suitable because they require the systematic observation of social issues. Okay, so surveys and opinion polls, if you take, it will be following the systematic way of recording the information. Okay, say example survey. How you will conduct the survey? You will be having a set of questionnaire. You will be prepare the questionnaire and you will be going to meet the respondents, and through each and every respondents, you can collect the responses from them. Okay, so systematically you are going to record it. Same with the opinion polls also. So opinion poll, what you will do, you will call the people for regarding a particular issue, and you can ask them, give their opinions, and the opinions will be recorded properly, and based on their opinion and based on their suggestions, you are going to take the decisions related with the particular issue. Okay, so that is called as descriptive research problem. So always descriptive research problem focuses on like what is, and main aim, it has to describe the situations or state or the existence of the certain specific phenomena. So in what circumstances the particular problem is existed. For example, what are the main factors affecting the consumer's purchase decision? Okay, so if you take this one, okay, this is called this descriptive research problem because it will describe the various factors, what and all the main factor, what and all the various factors is going to affect the consumer's purchase decisions. There are so many factors are there. So it describes each and every factors how it is going to affect the consumer purchasing decision. So that is known as descriptive research problems. So there are so many factors are affecting the consumer's purchase decision, and this research will identify to what and all the various factors will be going to affect the consumer's purchase decision. Then methods that can be used to collect the data include mail, online or offline, surveys and interviews. So there are these are the methods we are going to use in order to collect the data. Okay, so here in order for going for the descriptive research problem, we can use the mail. Through the mail, you can send the questionnaire, or you can through the online medium or the offline, through offline surveys and interviews, you can collect the data. Then when a researcher is dealing with a descriptive research problem, there can be no manipulation in the variables and the hypothesis as they are usually non-directional. Okay, so here as per the responses given by the respondents only you are going to record your informations or you are going to have the database. Okay, so here there is no manipulation of the variable is possible and you can't change the hypothesis. Whatever the hypothesis you framed, hypotheses are nothing but the suggested solutions or the basic assumptions about the particular issue. Okay, so usually you have to frame the hypothesis like that. There are two hypotheses you have to frame. One is null hypothesis, another one is alternative hypothesis. We can call it as H0 and HA. Okay, so always the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis, it will be having the nature of, okay, whether either you have to accept the null hypothesis or you can reject the null hypothesis, like that will be there. Okay, so here there is no manipulation in the variables. You can't manipulate the variables. Whatever the things you are going to collect the information from the respondent, same thing you have to record it, and that you can use it for your research purpose. Then second one, casual research problems. So it focuses on identifying the extent and nature of cause and effect relationships. So these types of problems will be identifying, will be helping in order to identify the cause and effect relationship. That means what is the reason this particular problem is happened, how it is going to affect the particular business. Okay, like that, what is the cause and what is the effect, that we have to identify with the help of this research problem. That is known as casual research problem. Identification of cause and effect relationship in the research problem. Such research problems help in assessing the impact of some changes on existing norms and process. Okay, such research problem. Okay, these kind of research problem will be helping in order to assess the impact of some changes in the existing norms and process. So what is the impact it is going to create in the existing rules and regulations on the process what you are going to follow it while you are going to do the research. And they identify the patterns of relationship between the different elements. So they can identify what is the relationship is there, what is the pattern they are following between the different elements. This is the different variables like that. So that is known as casual research problems. So casual research problem you can easily define. It will be helping in order to identify the cause and effect relationship between the variables. Then, for example, how does online education affect the students' learning abilities? Okay, say example they given here, how does the online education affect the students' learning abilities? Okay, so here you can see the online education, how it is going to affect the students' learning abilities. There are various factors will be contributed for the related with your online education. Okay, so while you are going to attend the online education, there are various factors will be going to influence you. At the same time, the learning abilities of the students, it depends upon the various factors. Okay, so it may be, are you having the proper network facilities? Are you have the proper electricity power? Are you having without any disturbances? Are you able to listen the classes in your house? Like that, there are various factors will be there. Okay, so this problem will be identified. Okay, that casual research problem will be going to identify what are the factors it is going to affect a particular facts. At the same time, how it is going to affect, at what extent it is going to affect. So whether the students' learning abilities is completely it is affecting because of the online education, or it is partially affecting the learning abilities of the students, or it is fully affecting like that. Okay, so at what extent, how it is affecting the learning abilities of the students, that you can identify with the help of this kind of research. So the casual research problem will be helping in order to identify the cause and effect relationship between the two variables. Okay, so in such cases, experiments are the most popular way of collecting the primary data. Okay, you can use the to collect the data, you can use the experiments method. So what is the experiments method? Experiment is nothing but you have to bring the people to one place and you can make it as the laboratory atmosphere, and you can see how these people are behaving in the environment, and based on that you can record the responses. Here the hypothesis is usually directional. The hypothesis is already said, it is nothing but it may be the basic assumptions about how a particular problem is going to solve, or it may be the suggested solutions in order to solve the problem. Okay, so it is usually directional. Directional in the sense it may be based on what actually the researcher has to attain. The same way he has to modify it. That possibility is there. So that is explaining how one factor affects the behavior of the another one. So there are various factors will be going to affect the particular fact. But even though you can explain how one factor is going to influence the another one. Then such studies give the researchers for the freedom to manipulate the variables as desired. Okay, so what actually the researchers wants to attain, that they can attain through the manipulation of the variables. What are the variables he required in order to find out the solutions for any problem? He has to manipulate the variable according to his desire. Then data for casual research can be collected in two ways. Okay, one is laboratory experiments, another is field experiments. Okay, I said both they will be using the experiments method only. Here there are two experiments method they are using. One is laboratory experiments, another one is field experiments. So laboratory experiments are generally conducted in the artificial environment, which allows the researchers to carefully manipulate the variables. On the other hand, the field experiments are much more realistic. It is sometimes not possible to control the variable. This makes it difficult for the researchers to predict with confidence what produced a given outcome. Okay, here we are going to use, there are two experiments method we are going to use. One is laboratory experiment method, another is field experiment. So in the laboratory experiments, what they will be doing? They will be going to create the artificial environment. Okay, so that is artificially they are going to create the environment in which they are going to bring the respondents together and they will see their performances. Okay, and they will be going to record the responses of these people. That is called as artificial environment. Okay, so it will be allowing the researchers to carefully manipulate the variables. So in this artificial environment, if you are going to create, okay, like the laboratory facility, you are going to make it artificially, and there you can see, okay, whether that particular variable, how it is going to influence the another one, or how the particular problem is arised. What will the various factors will be the reason for that particular problem. Everything you can identify with the help of this laboratory experiments. Okay, another one is field experiments. So field experiments, in the sense it is they given it is the realistic one, and it is sometimes not possible to control the variables. Field experiment in the sense you have to go to the particular place. Okay, say example, maybe a particular place some accident happened. Okay, so here as a researcher, what he has to do, he has to bring the people to his artificial laboratory, and he can ask them, okay, how this happened, at in which point of it particular accident is happened, what are the reasons to happen with particular accidents, like that he has to identify. Okay, but in the case of the field experiment, he has to go to that particular field where it is happened, where the particular accident is happened. So that particular place he has to go and he has to examine what are the various factors will be the reasons for having the particular accident in that particular locations. That he has to identify. That is why they given it is the realistic one. Okay. So on the other hand, field experiments are much more realistic. It is sometimes not possible to control the variables. And this makes it difficult for the researchers to predict with confidence what produced a given outcome. Okay, next one, a research problem. Okay, so next thing is relational research problem. So the first one, descriptive research problem, second one, casual research problem, third one, relational research problem. So this research problem states that some sort of relationship between two variables needs to be investigated. So relationship between any two variables you can identify. Okay, relationship between any two variables you can identify by using this relational research problem. The aim is to investigate the qualities or characteristics that are connected in some way. Okay. So for example, how is the experience of a teacher related to his or her teaching style? So there are two variables they use. One is experience of the teacher, another one is teaching style. Okay. So how it is related, how these two variables are related, that you can identify with the help of the relational research problem. Okay. So this sort of research problem requires more than one variable that describes the relationship between them. So descriptive research, it will describe the characteristics of the entire populations, and casual research problem, it will tell you what is the cause and effect relations between the two variables. And here relational research problem will be helping in order to identify the relationship between two variables. Now we are moving to the sources of research problem. What are the various sources are there in order to identify the research problem? The first one, deductions from the theory. Second one, interdisciplinary perspectives. Third one, interviewing practitioners. Then fourth one, personal experience. And fifth one, relevant literature. So we are going to see one by one here. Deductions from theory. So it refers to inferences a researcher makes from the generalizations of life in a society that a researcher knows very well. That means based on the researcher's theoretical knowledge and based on the available literatures, they can come to the conclusions how they are going to make it as the generalization of any of the concepts or any of the problems. So that is known as deductions from theory. Okay. So you may already have the theoretical knowledge about a particular issue or the particular problem. So how you are going to make it as, okay, that knowledge in order to identify the research problem. That is called as deductions from the theory. So it refers to inferences a researcher makes from the generalizations. There are many people, they already did the research on the same topic and they may be generalized. Okay. So each and every people have the certain opinion on a particular issue. Okay, because of this reasons, this particular problem happened. Because of that reasons, it is happened. Like that, each and every people, they listed out the various reasons in order to happen a particular problem. Okay, so how you are going to make it as the generalized one for your research. So deductions from theory is nothing but how you are going to take it as the generalization of the any facts or concepts from the theoretical knowledge. So a researcher takes the deduction and places them in an empirical frame. And then based on a theory, they come up with a research problem and a hypothesis that suggests some findings based on the given empirical results. So while you are going to make it as the generalization concept from your research work, it needs the certain evidence. Okay, so the empirical results, that is with the evidence only. Okay, I use maybe these are the statistical tools I used. Because of these tools and because of these results only, I am telling this is happened. This is one of the reasons for happening like this. So that you have to tell with the empirical results. Okay, that only they given here. A researcher takes the deduction, that means making the generalization, places them in an empirical frame with the evidence, and then based on a theory. And they come up with a research problem and a hypothesis that suggests some findings based on the given empirical results. And the research accounts for the relationship to observe if a theory summarizes the state of an affair. A systematic investigation which evaluates if the empirical information affirms or rejects the hypothesis comes next. So I said hypothesis is nothing but it is the basic assumptions about a particular problem or the particular concept or the particular facts. At the same time, while you are going to frame the hypothesis, okay, this hypothesis I said it has the ability in order to accept or reject the hypothesis. Okay, so based on your empirical results, that is based on your statistical tools and technique and testings, based on that you can come to the conclusions whether you are going to accept the hypothesis or reject the hypothesis. That you can do. That only they given here. A systematic investigation which evaluates if the empirical information affirms or reject the hypothesis comes to the next one. Then second one, interdisciplinary perspective. Okay, so in case of interdisciplinary perspective to identify a problem for the research study, the research has to look at scholarship and academic movements from outside the main area of the investigation. Okay, so you have to identify while you are going to identify the research problem, even you can look into the interdisciplinary way. Interdisciplinary, say example, if I am going to do the research on commerce, so or if I am going to do the research on economics, what I have to do, I can take the interdiscipline of the commerce for my research concern. Okay, so that is called as interdisciplinary perspective. You have to look into the interdisciplinary perspective also while you are going to identify the research problem. Okay, say example, if I am going to do the research on economic burden of healthcare cost on rural and the household urban, rural as well as urban the household people. Okay, so what I have to do here economic burden. So we can call it is the economics. Okay, major area economics. But here what I took it here economic burden of healthcare cost. So cost it includes in the commerce field. Okay, so what I did, I had the interdisciplinary of the commerce for doing my research process. Okay, so that is called interdisciplinary perspective. So whenever you are going to identify the research problem, don't look into the one way. You can see into the interdisciplinary way also. That is whether in other way also how you are going to solve it. Okay, whether any connection is there between the two major areas like that you have to identify. Okay, it's an intellectually involving process that one that requires reviewing the pertinent literature to discover unique avenues of exploration and analysis. Okay, that means you have to identify how it is related with the other interdisciplinary field. Okay, is there any connection is there between this field with the another field? That you have to identify. You have to explore this analysis. The benefit of using this approach to identify a research problem is that it presents an opportunity for the researchers to understand the complex issues the easy way. Okay, so it is even we can tell this approach is very much helpful for the researchers in order to understand the research problem in a very understandable one. Okay, so in order to identify a research problem is that it presents an opportunity for the researchers to understand the complex issues with an easy way. Then next one, interviewing practitioners. Okay, so interviewing practitioners in the sense the people those who are doing practice of a particular field, you have to go and do the interviews, and with the help of their interviews, you have to identify what are the reasons that particular problem happened like that. So practitioners in the sense, okay, you can take example, it may be the dentist, okay, it may be the doctor, or it may be the people those who are working in the particular environment. Okay, so to whom this you won't ask them and you can collect the information. And you, while going to do like this, you may identify whoever is practicing about a particular thing. Okay, they know what are the problems they are facing while they are going to use it. Okay, so it is easy way to identify the problem. Okay, so interview sessions can be significant source of the research problems to identify the research problem. The method gives an opportunity to have a formal discussions and informal interactions with individuals who can provide the useful insights into the research and make the findings more relevant to the future research. Okay, so interviewing practitioners is nothing but the people those who are using a particular concept or the people those who are undergoing a particular situations or the particular environment or the people those who are practicing about a particular things. So to whom you have to interview, and it will be easy for you to identify the problem because they are practicing these concepts or they are practicing these facts in their day-to-day life, so that they can easily know what and all making the difficulty for them and what and all will be going to create the problem for them, that they can easily identify and they can tell you. Okay, so the method gives an opportunity to have the formal discussions and informal interactions. So the formal way you have to go and discuss with the respondents, or even the informal way you have to have the interactions with these individuals who can provide the insights into the research and make the findings more relevant to future research. Then consider having the discussions with the expert in the field, healthcare service providers, business leaders, teachers, social workers, attorneys, and accountants. Okay, so you have the discussions with these experts. It may be the whoever is healthcare service provider, in the sense maybe it is the doctors or the nurse or the people who are doing the healthcare related services, and it may be the business leaders, the company managers, CEOs, executives, or teachers, or the social workers, or the accountants. Okay, so these are the people who have the discussions. So these people, they will be very expert in their field, so they know what are the problems they are facing. Okay, what are the reasons they are getting these problems. Everything they can easily tell you. Okay, so that it will be easy for you to identify the problem. Then next one, it is a continuation of that one. By interacting with these experts, the researcher is able to identify the real world problem. So I said, no, if you are having the interactions with these people, they are, because they are practicing in day-to-day life. So they can easily identify which are the factors contributing for creating the problem for their field, or because of that, what reasons they're affecting so much. So everything they can easily tell you. Okay. So by interacting with these experts, the researchers able to identify the real world problems that researchers have either ignored or understudied in the academic space. The interview sessions give the opportunity to get some practical knowledge that can help you to design and conduct your studies. Next one, personal experiences. So your everyday experiences are a good source of the research problem. So personal experiences is nothing but even each and every one of you have undergone our day-to-day life, one or other way of problem, and we will be knowing that what reasons that particular problem is created, how it is going to affect as an individual, how it is going to affect as a group of people. So that you know very well. Okay. So through the personal experience, based on your personal experience, you can identify the research problem. Okay. Say example, every day you are coming to the government transportation facility, government bus. Okay. So while every day traveling, you may understand the difficulty in that government transportations. What are the facilities they are lagging, so that you can easily identify, and you can come to the conclusions that you can do the research related with the government service sectors, the transportation related service sector, how they can do the better way, how they can provide the services in the betterment of the society, that you can come and you can give the suggestions. Okay, you can identify where and they are lagging and how they have to improve it, and through that how they can satisfy their customers. Like that, you can give the ideas so that it will be helping. Okay, that is called your personal experience. So based on your personal experience, also you can identify the research problem, because each and every day we are undergoing one or other way of the problem. So we know how it is problem is created, how it is going to affect you, how as an individual how it is affecting, as a group how it is affecting, as a society how it is going to affect. Everything you can easily identify. Okay, that is called as personal experiences. So you have to think critically about your personal experiences with an issue that affects your family, your personal life, or your community. A research problem derived from the personal experience can spring from any issue and from anywhere. For example, you can construct a research problem from the events that appear to be out of the ordinary, or from the community relationships that don't have the clear explanations. So through your personal experiences, you can identify the research problem. That is why they given here personal experiences, because you are the persons will be facing the problems, and based on your day-to-day life experiences, and maybe you may be interacting with a various group of people, and you have the interaction with your family members, you have the interaction with the relatives or the peer group of people. So there are a lot of people connected with you. Okay, so as an individual, you are interacting with so many people. So through your personal experiences, through your personal interaction with other people, you can easily identify which and all the facts will be going to create the problem for you. Okay, how it is you are going to overcome that, you can solve it with the help of your research work. Okay, so that's all about the sources of research problem. Okay, so what are the sources of research problem we discussed here so far? Deduction from the theory. So deduction from the theory is nothing but what the theoretical knowledge you already have. Okay, so you maybe have, you are maybe the graduated students, or you maybe studied something. So you have some theoretical concepts with you, and based on the theoretical concept and based on the theories, there are theories also there. Okay, like say example, the demand and supply theory, the law of demand theory. Okay, so like that, there are different theories also is there. So from the theories as well as from your subject knowledge, how you are going to identify the research problem. Okay, so through these the theoretical knowledge as well as what the existing theories are there, these theories will be helping you to identify the research problem. Then interdisciplinary perspective says that while you are going to identify the research problem, don't look into the only the main area. Okay, you have to look into the sub yeah, that is interdisciplinary areas also. That is why I said if you are going to look into the economic related problems, don't only look into the economics related problems. You have to look into the even the commerce, how it is going to apply. Okay. So that is why I said if you are going to consider economic burden of healthcare cost on rural and household people. So that economic burden of healthcare cost you are going to get. So economics as plus the costing you are going to consider. So this interdisciplinary perspective is very important for today's research. So don't look into only a particular main area. You can focus into the interdisciplinary areas also. Then interviewing practitioners is that you can interview with the people those who are practicing. Okay, maybe you can interview with the manager. You can do the interview with the dentist. You can do the interview with the doctors. Whatever maybe whoever is practicing it. Okay, so you have the interactions with these people, interview with these people, and so that they can do the through their interactions you can identify what kind of problems they are facing. Okay, that you can take it as for your research problem. So personal experiences, I already said, based on your personal experiences. Okay, you may gone various kind of problems, you may gone various situations, various atmospheres, so that you can easily identify, okay, what created the problem for you. So that you can take it as a research problem. Then relevant literature. So relevant literature is nothing but whoever is already did the research on the same topic or the same area or same problem, you can identify, and from that you can identify the research gap. Okay, so that you can take it as the research problem for your research work. That is called as relevant literature.